So if you guys don't know, StarWarsMarvelPurist, he's someone who hangs out in the Melee community. And if you're not aware of the situation, I'm sure a lot of you know him, but if you're not familiar with the situation, his channel was taken down by YouTube with no real warning, basically no anything whatsoever, and that's why I'm showing his Rumble channel here. So this was, I think, last week. His channel was just abruptly taken down. And if you don't know Purist, he talks about like old Marvel stuff. He talks about, you know, Star Wars, and one of the things that he is very upset about, of course, is Disney's modern Star Wars. So, you know, he talks a lot about that, and he talks a lot about people that he believes are like shills and such in the Star Wars community. You know, that sort of thing. And so he believes that it could be, what took his channel down could be a copyright strike from someone named Carly King. Now, I don't know if I'll play this video. Yeah, it's a long video. So I'm probably not going to go through the whole thing. But basically, it seems like his channel was hit by this this Carly King person.
Live streams and
it could have been hit by this Carly King person. Why is it such low quality?
one shill.
But anyway, yeah. So Purist has been Purist's channel is gone from YouTube, and it was taken down a couple last week. Worst of all, they gave him no warning. They didn't do like a 3 strikes or anything. They didn't, you know, have him do like, oh, you did the copyright and, you know, take the course, or like, here's a strike, here's a warning, anything. It's just, his channel was just wiped. So I posted about this myself. This is the original tweet thread. So yeah, Purist's channel got deleted after potentially being mass flagged. He tried to get YouTube to have a human rep look into it, and he appealed, and they pretty much, and as he says, in less than 25 minutes, it was declined, which means that most likely a real person did not look at this. And YouTube has not outlined the final decision, so YouTube gave him no reason. They gave him absolutely no information on what happened. And as he said, 0 strikes in 22 months to complete deplatforming in 1 day. And I actually tweeted about this, saying this is why creators are so frustrated with YouTube, because no matter what you do, it's like talking to a brick wall. And that is a big part of the problem, is that I think almost everything at YouTube is automated away. They use AI now to pretty much do everything. So most likely a real person never saw his appeal or his channel. It was just automatically taken down. So I did chat with Purist privately a little bit. I'm not going to show it. But, so as far as he knows, he doesn't actually know if it's mass flagging or DMCA or what actually took it down. And like I said, they didn't give him any information whatsoever. So he did, and to make things worse, he did try passing off his channel, passing off his channel to a friend. So his friend made a new YouTube channel, which was Bane of the Shills. But it seems like that was also taken down by YouTube, because if there's one thing YouTube is good at, it's banning people. So this was the other channel. Okay, it's gone, I guess. Well, anyway, so they took down his, you know, this new YouTube channel, which is a real problem. So yeah, this Bane of the Shills was taken down as well. And it's really infuriating because YouTube will just ban people randomly, but they're not going to do, they don't do anything about, I'm sure you've seen all the like spam bots, porn bots, all the, like weird book spam bots in the comment sections. They won't do anything about that. So if you go into a comment section, you'll see a bunch of like weird posts like, oh, I didn't know anything about this until I read some book by whoever. And it's like really obvious spam. YouTube doesn't ban anyone who does that, apparently. And same thing with like those like weird porn spam bots, the ones that like have those weird profile pictures that like look pornographic but they're not when you zoom in. And they all just say vague things like, oh, great content or something like that. You see that kind of stuff all over huge channels. YouTube doesn't do anything about that, but they'll ban this guy with no reason given. And so that, and yeah, I wanted to mention that because I know that is something a lot of you guys probably know him or follow him. His Rumble is still up. He has rebranded. He's still over there rebranded to Bane of the Shills. So if you want to go find him on Rumble, since he's unable to be on YouTube, I will paste a link to the channel in the chat. So that's Purist's case, but he's not the only one that's getting hit with things on. He's not the only one that's getting hit with problems on YouTube. So there's another like huge channel that is getting into that has gotten into trouble here, and this one's not just YouTube. They were hit by another corporation, but we'll go here. So Gamers Nexus.
Well,
if you're not familiar with Gamers Nexus, they are a journalism outlet, effectively.
well, clearly we.
Now, they're a huge channel that does journalism for like game tech, stuff like that. So they made this huge video, and it's actually this video. This is the video, by the way. It's called the NVIDIA AI GPU Black Market. This is a backup video. So it's just a backup video that was reposted. Basically, Steve, that's the name of the guy who runs the channel, he and his team at Gamers Nexus made this massive 3.5-hour documentary on what's going on with basically NVIDIA GPUs getting sold to China, even though they're not supposed to be, something like that. And what happened is this video got copyright struck by Bloomberg, of all places. And what makes this really bizarre is that Bloomberg really has no case here. And YouTube just let this happen, which is why I'm saying that it's not exactly the same as Purist's case, but Gamers Nexus is also getting screwed by YouTube and their terrible DMCA policies. This very important, huge video was just taken down for like I think it's like a 30-second clip of Donald Trump talking. So I won't go through the whole Gamers Nexus video, but I will go over the relevant parts here.
Clearly, we struck a nerve. Go figure that when you cover crime, corruption, and money, it upsets people who like money. This is Bloomberg. Bloomberg likes money. I came out here at 5 a.m. this morning to make sure, and it sure seems like they have a lot of it. Bloomberg filed an illegitimate and invalid copyright strike against our 3.5-hour-long movie about the AI GPU black market earlier this week, and our attorneys have prepared a response, but it's written in legalese.
Yeah, and so the thing is, Gamers Nexus being huge, they're able to afford attorneys to like fight these things. And Purist is a fairly small channel in comparison, so and that's not even Purist's main job, so there's not a whole lot he can do about his situation. But at least in Gamers Nexus's case, they're able to kind of stand up to this. But even then, they're going against Bloomberg. They're not really dealing with YouTube anymore.
And I thought it might be better to explain our response to Bloomberg to our audience by using a more universal language.
I mean, that is a great response, you have to admit.
Now, the safest thing to do would be to accept the strike, wait 90 days, and then say nothing of it ever again. But first of all, I've got New York's angriest defector who's saying this.
I hope that Steve Burke goes to Bloomberg and gives them a piece of his mind. I hope he has to speak to their legal department. If they don't solve the issue, I hope he finds a lawyer. If he doesn't find a lawyer,
I like how he has the Clippy come up. That's perfect. I miss Clippy.
find one for him. Because this is bullshit.
Hopefully he doesn't copyright strike me. And secondly, does that sound like us? To just say nothing of it ever again? You can get a free copy of our movie, Operation.
So if you want to check out the Gamers Nexus movie, you can do that. You can either donate to the store and get like a backer copy of the video, that kind of thing. There are also copies floating around. So, you know, if you choose to support them.
Operation. Bloomberg said it wasn't appropriate to call them with questions. They must prefer the old-fashioned way, face-to-face conversation.
Whatever's out there, stuff like that, please don't bring Bloomberg into your business. That's all.
But they're the ones who brought us in.
So, in short, in this video, basically, since Steve and Gamers Nexus tried to call Bloomberg to settle this, they said, well, you can't call us for that stuff. So then they actually flew out to New York and went to the Bloomberg building to try and talk to them in person. Kind of as a troll, but, you know, obviously they weren't able to get up there, so.
You placed at minute 22 until...
So here's specifically what
Bloomberg
happened.
filed a copyright strike that deleted our NVIDIA AI GPU black market smuggling investigation video from YouTube. They claim the reason for this is that we had an attributed clip of US President Donald Trump speaking about the unban of NVIDIA's H20 GPU, placed at minute 22 until 23:15 in the video, which includes some of our own studio recorded voiceover. The clip we included is absolutely 100% within our fair use rights for inclusion and is not a creative work by Bloomberg. It is not copyright infringement. It's allowed. This was an abuse and continues to be an abuse of the copy strike system on YouTube by Bloomberg. Our attorneys have sent Bloomberg a demand letter and have filed a counterclaim with YouTube. YouTube has accepted our counterclaim, which means our video will go back online in about 10 days, unless Bloomberg produces evidence to YouTube that it has filed a lawsuit against us. Presently, they haven't done that. When we reported on what the United States president said and used the TV clip to prove he said it rather than just ask you to take our word for it, it was newsworthy, transformative. It included reporting and criticism, conveyance of news, technical context Bloomberg does not provide, especially given its tragic history with fucking up the Supermicro story, and even included parody near the...
So basically they included a clip of basic news coverage with commentary from Bloomberg for like a minute in their 3.5-hour documentary. Bloomberg hit them with a copyright strike. YouTube, of course, did absolutely nothing because YouTube doesn't do anything to help creators. So YouTube pretty much always backs the strikes. They don't back creators. And so now they're fighting it out legally with Bloomberg, which is, you know, it's crazy. They're big enough to do that, but it's kind of a crazy thing to have to do. And the belief here is that the reason Bloomberg did this is to promote their own video, which is much worse. So Bloomberg did a similar video to the Gamers Nexus one, but it's not as they didn't really get anywhere. I think Steve covers it here.
2. Abuse of this system also acts as a suppression, because if Bloomberg doesn't intend to file a lawsuit, it still gets the benefit of suppressing us for around 12 to 13.
See, so this is what I'm talking about with YouTube here. It's a real problem on YouTube. YouTube treats its creators very, very poorly in this sense.
Total days, which obliterates video momentum even if it does go back online. And it certainly helps them drive more views to their competing video in the meantime. You can see here that their views per day dropped by 50% within just a few days of us publishing our AI GPU investigation. The first full day we were offline because of them, their traffic increased by 13% within 20.
So isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? So they copyright strike the Gamers Nexus video when they have their own video, and suddenly their views start going back up. Almost as though they might have done this on purpose.
AI GPU investigation. The first full day we were offline because of them, their traffic increased by 13% within 24 hours, which is very abnormal for a video that's already been up.
So it goes into, yeah, here's let's go a little bit more into detail on the failed competing video here.
Our video because it recently had a failed attempt to do what we did successfully. It flew all the way out to China to try and find AI GPUs and server racks, failed to do so, had its access revoked, and then filmed a bunch of footage of sand in a desert. So could it be because of their pathetic botched attempts at doing what we did when they flew out to China, were unable to find anything they went looking for, filmed a bunch of sand in a desert, failed to provide any answers to the questions they were asking, and then came back empty-handed? Bloomberg's own viewers certainly had questions. They wrote things like this. Why is this a story? Bloomberg's big investigation is just China's building some data centers. We don't know what chips they use. Groundbreaking journalism. If you don't know, then you don't have a story. Reporting without any information. WTF? I thought they would actually show us real chips being used. Worthless information.
Wait. I like that. I like that last comment there.
Any information. WTF? I thought.
So he didn't read the whole comment, but this one's really funny. What the fuck? I thought that would actually show us the real chips being used. Instead, they're just showing unfinished buildings and have random people making speculations. They even throw in an Asian guy to make it look legit. Hello, Asian guy. Yes, the chips be fake. Yes, chips are fake. That's amazing. So even the comments on the Bloomberg video are roasting them. Because I haven't seen the Bloomberg video and I have no intention of it. But yeah, that sounds hilarious. If they tried to do what Gamers Nexus did, couldn't get anywhere, and then tried to make a video anyway with basically nothing of substance.
I thought they would actually show us real chips being used. Worthless information. By the way, that information I found on satellite maps as well without wasting so much money. And the best one, quote, the entire video, basically, Bloomberg don't know. So while...
That's amazing. That's amazing.
We don't know exactly what Bloomberg's motive was. It certainly seems like not knowing is enough of a foundation for them to publish a story. Maybe it's not, because their video gets more views from copyright striking our video. Maybe also it's just a coincidence that the first time Bloomberg has a problem with our reporting, it has to do with what we think is underground government corruption by NVIDIA, which just happened.
So he does go into a couple other reasons here, and I won't spend a ton of time on this, but he goes into a few reasons. There's some like NVIDIA ties with Bloomberg, and Bloomberg's actually got some pretty heavy advertising, I believe. Oh man, that is a hot reporter. Let's see.
NVIDIA's products, and in particular, its AI products that we've frequently criticized. After all, CEO Jensen Huang frequently appears on Bloomberg. He even had a trip content goes through great lengths to market and financial interests.
Yeah, so Bloomberg has a lot of sponsored content from NVIDIA. This is probably a big part of things too. What else? So the ties to China. We know Bloomberg has ties to China. That shouldn't be surprising. Apparently, potential ties to PayPal, politicians, all sorts of things here.
But we did get one really hard-hitting interview with a notorious street gangster. They call him the Pigeon. Sir, what do you think about Bloomberg? They're right across the street, sir. Yeah.
Nice.
No comment. No comment at all. And even though neither interview subject would speak to us, including this more important one, it's not like this was a wasted trip.
What now, Steve?
I didn't really think that far. I don't know. Like, we could get pizza and then get home before 5 p.m.
Okay, let's go then.
All right, New York pizza. Besides, it was pretty cool meeting a few fans around New York and learning.
So that's the Gamers Nexus case. Dirty rotten pigeon. Yeah. There's something called that reminds me of like a phrase, stool pigeon. What does that mean? I've heard that before. Is that a stool pigeon? Decoy, informer, spy. You know what? You know what? You know what? That was probably a stool pigeon. That's what it was. It was a stool pigeon. So, yeah, so that's the Gamers Nexus situation. They are also getting screwed over by YouTube, and even more so by Bloomberg in their case. But YouTube is also part of the problem here. Now it all makes sense. Yeah, maybe that pigeon's the one who struck Purist's channel. But yeah, so I posted a link to Purist. Well, yeah, basically Purist's Rumble channel in the chat if you want to follow him there. Let me also post a link here to Gamers Nexus if you want to follow them, because they do really good work. So I'll just post Gamers Nexus. They do a lot of good work, hardware reviews, tech news, and stuff like that. Well, gaming tech news, I should say. Obviously based on the name, they're gaming focused, but they review, you know, GPUs, CPUs, gaming hardware, that sort of thing, and they do a lot of cool stories on it. Plus, I mean, look at this guy. Look at Steve here. He has beautiful, beautiful hair. His hair rivals that of Melee James. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that hair. It's amazing. Yeah, so you know, check these guys out if you like gaming hardware reviews, news, and stuff like that. But yeah, so a lot of people are getting screwed over by YouTube again lately. You give the thumbs up, I'll give them a go. Yeah. And you know, the content may or may not be for you, but at the very least, they're worth checking out if you're interested in that kind of hardware news and such, because they do a lot of interesting stuff. So they've done some pretty massive
Today
stories.
we're investigating.
So, oh, this is one of them. One of the big ones. So don't buy NZXT. So this one was about 8 months ago. So that was what? Sometimes if you hover, it shows you, but 8 months ago. So I think this was like December, January. Basically, NZXT. Hey, Paul Adokin, how you doing, man? Let me play this for you.
Welcome, valued customer.
Okay, I can't do a salute. My arm can only go up to like my chest. But hey, how you doing, Paul? I saw you guys were streaming earlier. Hope you're doing well. How is The Witcher 3? Yeah. Yeah, the combo. Yeah, it was Witcher 3 you were playing, right? How is that? I've only ever played Witcher 1. I don't know why. I played Witcher 1. I got all the sex cards. And then I never got around to playing 2 or 3. Which is funny. I remember when I was playing Witcher 1, I told a friend, like, I got all the sex cards in Witcher 1, and I was telling a friend of mine who was a big Witcher fan at the time, I was like, I wish it were this easy to get these cards in real life. Because in real life, I got no cards. But in the game, I got all the cards. It's fun so far? Nice. Nice. Glad you're liking it. Yeah, I do miss the... I will say, I do miss that style of gameplay that you had in games of that era. Because nowadays, most games just aren't like that. You know, everything is either Souls-like or it's turn-based. You don't get that, like, good, solid action-adventure game kind of feeling. I don't know, Witcher's a little more of an RPG, too. But you don't get that, like, really fun cinematic action-adventure game anymore. Like Witcher, Arkham, those kinds of games. But gotta level up in real life. Yeah. Sergey, I've been trying to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice for like the last week. I don't think I've lost any weight, but I think I'm doing it. But you know, yeah, getting the nice RPG of a Skyrim feeling in The Witcher. Yeah. It's I can see that for sure. Although you know, Skyrim has all those mods. I don't know if Witcher has mods. Well, thanks, Sergey. Yeah. I was trying to get better. But But yeah, so Gamers Nexus did this this huge report on NZXT. So what NZXT was doing is they were effectively renting out PCs that were, I think, low spec. I forget the exact story, but basically they were. It was
Today
like a
we're
predatory
investigating
rental scheme for PCs by NZXT. So, okay, yeah. So what was going on is they were renting out these PCs, which were a terrible deal to begin with, and they were actually switching out components for cheaper components when you rented them. So basically, false advertising. And then they also did stuff like paying influencers to advertise them. If I can find it. Ah, yeah, here we go. They're paying a bunch of these influencers to market their NZXT PC rental thing.
NZXT.
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 NZXT. NZXT. NZXT.
Here's a rapid-fire roundup of the misrepresentations and sometimes straight-up lies of NZXT's influencer army.
It actually makes kind of sense. They have zero strings attached.
With no strings attached.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
And no commitment.
There is a commitment. You literally have to pay or they'll send you to collections. In fact, there's...
Yeah, so false advertising, paying influencers, and, you know, I guess now you know which influencers you can trust, or I guess now you know more of the influencers you can't trust from this. Boo, yeah. Yeah, I also hate that style of advertising. It's kind of annoying. But, yeah, so NZXT was basically scamming people, is what the story's about. I don't even know. I think they might have ended the rental program. Yeah, so another guy, Jay's 2 cents, he's also fairly good. He confronted the NZXT CEO about the program. Said Gamers Nexus does like really solid reporting on a lot of this stuff. Oh yeah, they called out Linus Tech Tips a couple of years ago for some of their crap. Yeah, there's the NZXT scam. There was they're talking about Alienware, Asus scamming. So Asus has been scamming people, or at least they were with their like repair program. There's a company called Artesian Builds. This is a really entertaining video more than anything, just because watching this meltdown of this Artesian Builds guy. But yeah, so they do a lot of good reporting. So if you want to check them out, I did post the link in the chat. And yeah, they're worth watching.